Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my lovely co-host, Phil. How are you today, Phil?
I'm good. How are you? I got it right.
You're good. Okay, you're good. Woo.
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. It's snowing outside right now. Actually, some big snowflakes. I also I ordered some a video that I could only get from the UK, and they said that it arrived, and I couldn't find it. So on Amazon they usually take a picture of where they leave it. So they left it on. We're in the same house, but they have the front porch and I have the side door. And so they left it there, but then it snowed a foot of snow. So I actually had to go onto a porch and dig out my DVD. I found it though. I got it though. Remember when I was talking about footballers?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had season 4 from a long time ago. I used to have them all, but I don't know where they all went, but I got this now. So just to prove to you that I'm obsessed with these smutty UK television shows. So this is going to be what I'm watching tomorrow. It's great.
Very good. Very good.
That's what I've done so far today. And first time on Reality Realness, well, we are welcoming you here. Please join us in the comments. If you subscribe, let us know in the comment box below, and we will be sure to engage with you in conversation. So now that I think that I can speak, we are here to talk about The Amazing Race Australia, episode 3.
Overall thoughts? Well, they went to the Outback. Some strange tasks, but good. It went by really fast, the episode, so that was good. But yeah, I thought it was good.
What I think I like about this season, I know that we're usually kind of excited by seeing new countries when we see regular Amazing Race, and just seeing how people will be able to adapt in completely different cultures. What I like about this, it seems attainable to do well. If I were competing on it, all the tasks so far seem very doable, which I think makes it a little bit more fun, maybe a little bit less competitive compared to other Amazing Race seasons. But there's something about it that's more winnable, it seems. And so I'm kind of liking it.
It makes me kind of excited to see the next Canadian one as well.
Are you going to be on it or what?
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I'm going to apply. Maybe I'll apply. Is it too late?
I have not seen the audition link for it yet. So, I mean, I'll definitely let you know when I see that, but I haven't heard any even rumblings about it. So I don't know. But I'll get Jojo maybe to ask because he's been in the mix before. So,
Ooh. I have too. So.
What if you guys were in the mix for the same show? Wouldn't that be cool before you guys?
That would have been great. Yeah, it was season 3 or 4. So
he was in the mix for a couple of seasons. It's probably those 2 seasons. I wouldn't be surprised. You guys, yeah. Well, I want to see both of you guys on it, so that would be kind of fun. So the Super Seeks get a day off. We didn't really. I thought that they would have showed a little bit more of them kind of relaxing, like they did in the preview. Kind of portion of it, just show them having a bath and just kind of relaxing. But in reality, though, I thought that they were going to show them doing that kind of in what they're doing while the other racers are doing something else. I thought they were going to interject a little bit more how smooth sailing this leg was for the Super Seeks. Were you surprised by that too?
Yeah, I was. I don't know. I'm still not sure if I like this advantage. They skip a leg. I want to see the teams racing. So
yeah, it's not erasing get to the end with a special trinket. That's not. It's not the race to me. Ron says I think that they have teams on standby. So do you mean in real
over Canada?
In the casting process, or do you mean in case somebody gets hurt or sick, they have somebody they can bring in right away, especially during COVID times.
Oh, maybe too. Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. So the teams are going to be going to Winton, Queensland, leaving in the same order as they arrived at the pit stop. So I guess that they clarified that, because usually in the Amazing Race, like the US version, they have the timestamps that we like. I like looking at. I like looking and seeing the time difference between the teams. Yeah. So I'm glad they clarified that, but I would have liked to see the time.
Yeah, well, me too.
I'm always a stickler about time. On the challenge, they stopped for some reason showing how quickly people do certain challenges within it. And I'm like, I want to know who did really well, who took an hour. Like, I want to know that, not just like the order of the standings. I want to judge more.
Yeah.
The Canadian version, casting for the next season, is technically closed. I looked it up today. Thank you. Did you look it up right this second?
Oh.
Ron. So it's just closed. Okay. That's
all right. Well,
I mean, if the American version puts one out, then the Canadian version will put one out.
Yeah. Because the last Canadian one, they didn't. I don't remember. I don't think they left Canada on the last one. They were before, but I think the last one they stayed entirely in Canada. So they could do it.
They could, and we have a lot. Well, I don't know what our cases are compared to Australia. They're pretty low in their cases. Maybe once, like next week, after we're not on lockdown in like Ontario anymore, maybe then casting and stuff like that might start looking at ways to bring it back. But right now, I just don't see that it's feasible. But it's good to know, though, March 3rd is going to be Big Brother Canada. They figured that out, so that's good.
Right.
To hear. Very good to hear. I can't believe it's literally going to be a year that I've been at home.
I know. Oh, do you think so? I know we're talking on Amazing Race, but do you think for Big Brother Canada, we're going to see people from last season because of the show?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so at all.
Okay.
You?
Wow. I was wondering that. I was like, oh, well, they sort of got robbed of a season, although it was a bit of a train wreck of, like, it started out pretty messy. So. Dodged a bullet.
That could have been a bad one. Thanks, Corona. You saved our season. I don't think so, but maybe they'd bring in a couple people. It would be like Sheldon, maybe they'd bring in and Brooke. But I think it's also a disadvantage for people to come back in as someone that kind of played before and not have it like half and half. So I just think that it might be over for them. But maybe if they do some sort of all-stars or second chance type season, maybe then they'd bring them back in. But I think they want something new. If they did bring them back in, I'd be kind of annoyed.
Well, we'll see.
I want them new people. New. So Holly and Dolor find out what their advantage is going to be. And it is a big advantage. And I'm finding it hilarious that the team that people are most easily will hate have the advantage that is very hateable. Like, they get to jump the queue of any line. I'm glad that there wasn't multiple times where that was an opportunity. But what do you think about that as an advantage?
It's a great advantage. I like that it only happened once, so it made it kind of fair. But yeah, the further down that they went, the more resentful I think teams would be. Like, not only would it be the first team, but like I can imagine if they came in there and they were like the last team to arrive, and then they got to leave first. There'd be some teams that would be like,
yeah, not happy, and like was excited to be kind of like, hey, sorry, excuse me. But like he wanted to kind of rub it in their face. And so I can see them not making any friends.
Behind me.
Right? It worked out perfectly for the editing and like the drama of the show, for sure.
That's right.
Ron says, do we think that the Super Seeks will get some backlash for giving the power couple the salvage?
I don't think they'll get backlash, but I think that they're going to. I mean, we talked about our worry about them being too nice of a team. I think that they're going to be told, by people, that was not the smartest thing to do. Like, it's okay to be.
Imagine if Dolor and Holly one of them had to not speak. Who would it have been? Who would have not spoken?
It would have had to have been her, right?
You
Because he
think?
wouldn't have followed the rules.
Right.
I don't think he would have followed it. Yeah.
That would have been a better move for them. They would probably have gotten at least them out, and the moms would are not that competitive, we'll say. And them getting to the front of the line, they would have probably stayed there or stayed like top 5. But yeah, Dolor and Holly would probably have been out because I don't think that they could communicate well when they can talk.
Yeah, I mean, if the moms had the trouble that they did have with the truck wheel, then that would have been great because they would have started at first and they would have been there for a long time anyways. So
yeah. So I think that people will understand what the Sikhs did. He's like, I just gave them to them in order that they came. I thought that was the most fair thing to do. Because they are very kind, and I think that people will like understand that they didn't want to be super cutthroat like that. So I think that they'll get a pass. I think. So Jude and Shannon, the moms, they get a disadvantage, which is we kind of mentioned it already. They couldn't speak. One person couldn't speak for the entire leg. Now, okay, if it was me and you racing, how would we do this?
I think that the right thing to do is whoever is the driver should not talk. And whoever is the person giving directions, that's the person who you need talking. Now,
how good at you are you at directions?
I'm good at directions, so I can do directions. I'm good at driving too. At that, but I think that that's the right way to go about it. But you also have to think: can the person who is not talking be able to do that? You and I are both talkers. I don't know. We like to talk. We're on this.
Could I do that? Could I not talk for like a day? I think I could do it. I think I would take the role of the not talking because I do find that I'm able to understand communication from other people, and I think that I would be able to follow direction. Not that saying that you wouldn't be able to, but I think that I could be. So
no, I think we'd both actually be okay at it. I think the only problem would be the frustration of if something goes wrong. Then like it's hard to bite your tongue when something maybe a couple middle fingers might be happening. Who knows? Let's go, come on.
I mean, that would be kind of a fun task, but I can understand how it could be very frustrating, which they seem to handle it pretty well, but I probably would have been annoyed in the heat, not doing something right. Like, I've just been like, just so annoyed.
Well, I'd rather do that than be eliminated, so I'm okay with it.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's actually easier, I think, than giving in all your money or doing a speed bump. At least like you could still keep the pace up. Yeah, I think that you're right though. It's as a disadvantage, it's better than some of the other ones that people have had to endure. So they had to take a plane to Longreach, Queensland, I think it was. And they meet the host after they have some welcome ceremony within the airport. So outside is the host, and the host tells them that due to the fact the twins had to leave the game, Dway and Catherine were coming back. Now, I saw this in the preview, so I knew that it was coming, but how do you feel about this being how they fixed the situation?
Yeah, I mean, so we've only lost one team then at this point. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess we're having like a RuPaul US version and nobody's going for the first couple of weeks. But it's good. I think the good part about it is we talked about this when they were eliminated. We were like, oh, it sucks because they probably have a story that we'd probably like to know. So hopefully we get to know them a little bit better, because we didn't really get to know them too well on that first leg. So I hope we get to know them a bit better.
Exactly, me too. And like I know that you're saying that we only lost one team, but it was a non-elimination leg. So like losing two teams, I guess like for them, they probably have a certain amount of teams that they need to have at the end. So they probably wanted to fix that with what they've already had planned. So I get why they brought them in, just because it was so early. Now, can I have them now that since I lost the twins?
I think that that's fair.
Okay.
I think that is fair, because the twins didn't get eliminated. They eliminated themselves. So I'm gonna let you have them, and I think that that's a fair thing to do.
Thank you.
Or you can have who was the other team? There was a team that or you could.
I think it was Rani and Jabel.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Jess and Catherine.
You got it.
Because I do want to root for them. I want to see them do well. I want to see their story. So I want them on my team then. Yay, thank you. A win for me. So, okay, so after they get to Longreach, they have to drive themselves to compete in a Dunny Derby. Do you know what a Dunny is?
What was it? Oh, the Dunny, yeah. So like it's like a portable, right? Yeah. Like a portable toilet.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I didn't really know. I'm like, I guess like cow dung, isn't it? Or is it dung? No, it's dung. Dunny. I never didn't know what Dunny was, to be honest, until I saw what they had to do.
I had never heard of it. No.
I guess I'm not like well versed in Aussie lingo, but they had to go. They had to choose a Dunny person that's gonna. Were they sitting on a makeshift toilet?
I guess I didn't see what they were sitting on, but I guess so. It must.
I think that's what it was. It was like they're sitting on the toilet, and so they had to kind of pull them over to a station. Now the catch here is they had like a toilet bowl on their head filled with like blue liquid.
Yeah, so like a bedpan.
Yeah, I guess bedpan is somebody else described it as. And they had to take it over. I don't know how far they had to walk the porta potty, and then they had to dump it into a bucket and fill it up to a line. So it seems like most people were saying it took 4 trips back and forth, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And some people were quite terrible at this, especially Dolor and Holly, or Dolor anyways, because Dolor is just not good.
No.
Not good. But he seemed a little bit better this leg. He didn't seem as mean to her. I think that he wasn't good at that challenge, but she's like, let me do it. He let her do it, and they were able to recover a little bit better. She had better control and she listened more, and so I think that they worked better. Yeah. She works better listening to him than he works listening to her, it seems.
Definitely.
So the girls actually got there first, Amanda and Ashley, which I was surprised that they drove there the fastest, and I think they got out first as well, didn't they?
They did. Yes.
Pretty impressive. So the next part of the leg, they're going to be going to the Australian Age of Dinosaurs. Are you a dinosaur fan?
I love dinosaurs. I loved dinosaurs as a kid. Yeah, and Jurassic Park. I loved those when that came out. Definitely. Yeah.
Jurassic Park was pretty awesome, to be quite honest. I remember thinking it was just so it was such an imaginative idea, and I thought the first one was I was like, wow, this is so cool. I think they did 2 more after that. I was like, okay, well, we got the gimmick already.
We get it. They're gonna bite people. We get it.
They're gonna get out of hand, and you're gonna have to punch them, or But the first one was exceptional, I thought.
Yes.
And so basically what they had to do was they had to dig up, I thought it was 34, but then the Cowboys said 33. So I wasn't sure how many bone sections, but dig up 33 or 34 pieces of dinosaur. They couldn't break any. So if they broke any of these pieces, they would endure a time penalty at the pit stop, and then basically put a standing skeleton of a dinosaur together. What do you think about this task?
Well, I think we've seen this task before on regular Amazing Race. I vaguely remember this task, and I liked it. I thought, it's a tough puzzle because, it's not just as easy. Every piece goes somewhere. You have to think about it and where do the pieces go here. it definitely wasn't an easy puzzle, and it's also kind of a physical puzzle too, because you have to lift things and move them around, and you can't just do it on the ground, like which is great. So I liked it. I thought it was a good challenge.
It was a good challenge, and I thought it was going to be pretty difficult considering they didn't have a map of like how to actually put it together. So some of the construction of it wasn't super logical, like it was a little bit more challenging to figure out because each piece is like joints and stuff like that. You kind of have to know the mechanics of like how bodies work. And so I could see it being a little bit challenging, and especially it being upright as well. And as you said, not being able to put it together on the ground and then put it together standing up. So yeah, I agree. It was a good challenge, and I think it would allow people to use a lot of different strengths that don't always get used in the race. So I liked it too.
Definitely some teams like did really well, and some teams, like if you actually look at when they arrived and when they left, like there were some teams that really did not do well. Like they were there for a long time. So
long time.
Yeah.
First? Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm forgetting the order of it. So I wrote down next that the moms were an hour behind. How did they get an hour behind? Is that what, like before or after they got to the
I think that's when they got to the dinosaurs.
Wow. How did they have to be an hour behind from the drive?
Oh, no, that was they were an hour behind when they filled out the sheet on the times.
Yeah, no, I know, but they said, I think they said it here because I wrote it down. Okay. But I think it's that they're an hour behind when they were on their way to the bones. I forgot that they did the Dunny challenge, and they were last leaving the Dunny challenge. That's where they were saying that they were an hour
when they got to the dinosaurs, it was dark.
Exactly.
When they got there. So yeah, it was
still at least a bit light outside. So Holly and Dolor, though, get there. I mean, pretty much all the teams are there at whatever point. And Holly and Dolor decide to see who's doing the best and start copying the Cowboys. What do you think about that as a strategy?
It's a smart strategy. Like, I mean, I can see why it would irritate people, but, it's a smart thing to do, especially if you're further behind and you want to catch up. And I think they did end up leaving faster than when they got there. So, I mean, good on them. It's irritating. It's a risk.
You're not going to make people like you. Would you have done it? Would you have gone up and cheated?
I don't think I would have done it right. Like it seemed like that was like, well, it was like he grabbed the stuff and they were walking over and it was, let's look at another team. I think I would like try and figure it out first, and then if I was struggling, yeah.
Yeah, just be like, you get the binoculars out and be like, what are they doing over there?
Well, you don't want the binoculars and Dolor. He'll just put them down
so pretty much though, Shane and Deb, like they starting to pull away here. They got there not first, but they are leaving this task first. I was pretty impressed by them being able to get it done quite quickly. They were competing to a certain extent with the Cowboys, kind of neck and neck doing the puzzle. So they were able to pull through first. And then it was second was the Cowboys, third was Jordan and Violeta, fourth was Chris and Aleisha, and they're going to be going to the Winton's truck stop to the sign-up board. So the times are going to matter here because they're in 5-minute increments, and the difference between all those teams is about an hour. So it's good to get there as quickly as possible. So Amanda and Ashley are still at the dinosaurs, and they crack one of the pieces. And so she's like, well, it's not broken, it's just cracked. Did you think that they were going to incur a penalty for the crack?
Actually, the fact that it was shown, I was like, oh, they're going to get a penalty for that. Because I was like, well, why would they show that? Because it's just going to cause people to be outraged about it that are watching. Like, why bother showing it? But
right,
I don't know.
That's what I didn't understand. So that never got resolved, in my opinion.
No, I guess they were right.
I was like, well, why would they bring it up if like it wasn't like at least if the woman said, oh, you cracked, but it's not broken, here's your clue, like that would be fine to me. Or I thought that they were saving the suspense for the pit stop to be like, but you had a crack in your thing, so you have to wait whatever, however many minutes. So I was surprised that at least at this point it wasn't mentioned when they went to get their check. So Malaan and Tina, though, unfortunately, managed to fully break it, completely separate it in half. So we know 100% that they're going to be incurring a penalty. So I felt really bad because I don't want them to I want them to get to the front of the pack and start running with the top teams.
Yeah.
And it seems like they just keep on falling to the back. Falling to the back.
Yeah, they're really like up and down the whole leg, like every leg that they've been in, and it's like and we're not seeing all of it, so it's like confusing. Like, are they good or are they not good?
I think they're not good, but they get a little bit lucky in certain parts of it.
They drive well. They seem to drive well.
And I think that they were saying that they're fast too. I think that's one time they mentioned that. So they might have some like speed for running from task to task. So they all get to the sign up board. Obviously, I told you the first 4 teams, and I'm not sure exactly. I think that Dolor and Holly got their 5th, or maybe it was a little bit after that. But they're just like it was after. Yeah, they got it like 8th, and they just drew a line and said, "Yeah, no, we're going to be first leaving this thing." Yeah, I felt that people were kind of annoyed, especially Shane and Deb, who were there first. They're like, "Oh, now we're not first. Now we're going to be second." Annoying. Very, very, very. Okay, so what they're going to be doing the next morning at 7 a.m. is fit 2 road train wheels. They each weigh about 80 kilos. This is really not good. Wouldn't have been my task. I don't know if I've ever changed a tire in general. I don't think I would enjoy this task, though. I'd probably be pointing, and maybe I'd just be like the wrench stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think with the explanation, I'd be okay. Like, I'm not Mr. Strongman in any way for sure, but I can. I've got some bulk. I can make it work.
Well, I don't like lifting heavy things. It's like one thing I hate about moving. I'm like, I just don't want to lift anything heavy. I just don't like awkward lifting heavy things. So this would be not my ideal task. So that's why I just do like the bolt stuff if you'd let me. But yeah, I wouldn't be very good at this one, I don't think. I could roll it. I could roll the tire.
Yeah.
Holly Dolor, they left first now to do this task, and I was very surprised that they watched the entire demonstration. I thought that he would be the type that wouldn't. So I was impressed by that. But then they pretty much had trouble right in the beginning, and it didn't seem like he could lift the tire or that they really knew what they were doing here. They didn't do a good job. Now the Cowboys, they felt as though they knew what they needed to do, so they didn't look at the demonstration. What do you think of this as being a choice?
I mean, I get it for them because they probably thought that they could do it, but it's if you go on the race, my advice would be if they're giving you the option to watch somebody do it, they're thinking it's hard enough that you need to watch somebody to do it, because you don't get that option with a lot of tasks that they're going to give you somebody to watch. So that person was there for a reason, and you don't even know if there was going to be some sort of trick to the task or something, right? Like if you do know how to do it, but then maybe like they have a little spin on it, like you want to watch what the thing is. So
exactly, kind of like in the US one that we watched when they didn't assemble the horn thing. Like it's like if they didn't wait to the end to see them assemble the horn, they would never know that they were doing the task wrong, kind of thing.
Right.
It's not really a similar situation, but you understand what I mean by it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't pay off them deciding not to watch the demo because for whatever reason, they got a check and it was incorrect their first time. So was that faster? Because they probably had to go back and look after or reassemble it.
Take it all off, yeah.
The tires weren't in alignment. That's what I'm assuming had happened, but I have no idea.
I think they put there was the big white round thing that goes in the middle, which I don't know I don't know but it was.
Is it a hub?
Backwards.
I'm guessing
it was backwards. They put it in backwards. So, yeah.
Cowboys. Now, this is where I thought something was going to go wrong with these two teams. So, the moms and Malaan and Tina were doing some runway walks, and they're kind of just like joking around, waiting to do the tire challenge. And I was like, oh, they're laughing and they're having some camaraderie, and we know that Malaan and Tina have a penalty and they have a disadvantage, and they're doing model walks and they really like each other. I'm like, they're going to be fighting for last against each other. Like,
this is the story.
This is the story. I was really sad because I thought it was a cute moment, but I was like, they don't put it in just to be cute. They put it in to make us feel terribly that they're going to be separated. So we get the detour. It's going to be pick or polish. So pick meaning that they have to collect some fleece enough to they have to clean it first and then fill a bale and then roll that over to a finish line. And then polish was cleaning 42 solar panels. That's a lot. They said it's quite big and it can be seen from space, which was quite surprising. And it can give power to 100,000 homes, which I think is, I can't even, it doesn't compute like that. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Which one would you choose?
I would have chose pick for the fact that we saw that people were complaining how hot it was, and pick at least to me sounded like it was at least possibly in an indoor space, possibly maybe it would be cooler, I don't know, but I think it would be out of the sun, which out there in that landscape, I think you want to be out of the sun if you can be. I know I do as a ginger.
I mean, honestly, I avoid the sun because it's too hot. I like summer obviously more than winter, but I don't go and like lay out in the like direct sun. Like I don't like that feeling of cooking. So I would probably chosen not to do the solar panels. I was surprised that more people didn't choose the sheep one because I thought it sounded easier. I know that they didn't know it was going to be 42, which is even a lot to be outside like scrubbing something. I was like, no, I'd rather do the sheep one. It would have been a no-brainer. It was pretty half and half, the people that did each. So for pick, we had Shane and Deb, the Cowboys, Ashley and Amanda, Dway and Catherine, the moms, and Malaan and Tina all did pick. I might have missed somebody. I'm not sure because I don't know if they showed everybody. And then for polish was Dolor and Holly, who wasn't really great at doing the task, and they had at least one check and they said no, and she didn't want to do it actually as well as he was hoping to do it because he seemed like he was being a little bit more diligent, which I was surprised about.
Yeah.
Jess and Jobel did that. Sefa and Jess, as well as Jobel and Ronnie, Jordan, Violeta, Chris, and Aleisha all did it. Did I miss anybody?
It was 6 and 6. I know that. But yeah, I felt like I didn't understand Holly and Dolor's approach of both doing the same panel, one at the top and one at the bottom. Like, it would never look the same. Like, I think you're cleaning the top and then the next person's brush, like, it always would be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that. And also, like, if anything dripped down, it would just kind of go over top of wherever she just did. So how does that make any sense? You kind of have to go from the top to the bottom for that type of meeting. They didn't show, it didn't prove to be a successful method. So
and the pick definitely did appear that the pick was the better one to go with because I think more teams throughout seemed to do it faster. So
100%, because Dolor and Holly got their fourth? And they or third. Did they get their third?
Third or fourth, yeah.
Third or fourth, and they went down. Like no matter what, they left in a worse position than when they got there. So it definitely took longer. Because Jobel and Ronnie actually left fourth, so they just didn't do well. And Jobel and Ronnie were at the polish, and so they left fourth. So I don't even know where did they leave? Probably really bad. Did I write it down? I didn't write it down.
They left that okay. They were like around fourth or fifth. I had must have been fifth.
Yeah, I think it would have been 5th or even 6th if somebody from Pick kind of snuck in there. So the Australian Stockman Hall of Fame is where the pit stop is going to be on this leg of the race. And the moms are still on their tires. Like when we're starting to talk about the pit stop, I'm like, oh boy, like they're quite far behind at this point. They haven't even started pick or the solar panels, like no good. But there is an identifiable person or peoples at the pit stop. So they're the Crack Up sisters are doing the welcome at the pit stop. So I do feel as though these people are going to have to do with the final task.
Yeah, there. I think there's a good chance. Yeah, something's going on. So.
Very identified. I don't remember the first leg, but second leg we know that the woman with the gold medals, and then now these people dancing wearing colorful costumes. I was like, you're not subtle, so I think. And with no surprise, though, Shane and Deb, they did the picking, and they were fast at it, and they got to the pit stop as team number 1, and they are going to be rewarded with a SeaWorld Resort family vacation. Have you ever been to SeaWorld?
Well, I've been to the equivalent in Canada. I've been to Marineland. I don't. That was all when I was a kid. I think actually I may have gone to. No, I went to a water park that SeaWorld owned, but I don't think it had those whale shows there. But
I don't even know if I have. Have I? I don't. I mean, probably. I mean, I've been to the West Edmonton Mall. Do they have like a whale show there? I don't know. They have so much stuff going on there. When I was younger, I've probably been to Marineland, but I don't remember. Like I've seen different whale shows, but I've also been to many different theme parks, so I don't know I don't remember which ones I've been to.
Well, even Wonderland had a dolphin and sea lion show. I remember back in the day. So
I've seen those for sure because I used to have a season pass every year of my life. So number 2 is the Cowboys, who also did the picking. And they were pretty fast at it as well. And the third team to arrive was Amanda and Ashley. So they remained at the top of the pack.
Yeah, they had a great leg. They really did. They're a strong team. So
yeah, I'm very impressed with how well they did this episode, and they managed to stay at the top. And I can see them staying there and not necessarily falling, unless it's something that does with lifting heavy things, which we know that I don't like. That's the only thing I might be behind. But I'm impressed. I'm happy that they did well. And so we see the dreaded scene from the preview that there is a team that forgot their bag.
Yeah.
What?
At the back of the pack.
How is that possible? Like, it's not just like it's not like it was a fanny pack. Fanny packs, I understand when people forget them because it's just like, maybe you took it off to adjust or whatever, then you don't put it back on, and you just forget it. I can understand the fanny pack, but the knapsack, both of them, like, isn't there like engraved in your head, like, oh, open the back, put the bag in? Like, there's certain things that I would be surprised that they didn't remember not doing, but they did figure it out. So they were driving.
I think what happened was they were so. Because they really struggled on that wheel task, like getting the wheel up. And I think they were so thrown off by it that they panicked and they just.
I need to get there. We need to leave.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah. Yes. But like, where were their keys? Like, why were their keys in their bag? You know what I mean? Like, and why are they?
I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. It's one of those. Well, that's a bad mistake. You shouldn't do that.
Very bad mistake. And they basically had got to the next task, the pick or polish task, and the light bulb goes off, and like he's like, "Oh my God, we don't have our bags," and they turned around. So it was Jordan and Violeta that forgot the bags, and they turned around and went back. And the moms actually had noticed the bags were still there. And so it was giving them a little bit of hope that they would be able to finish the tire task, and maybe before they realize that they left their bags, and maybe pull in ahead. So I don't want anybody to leave because I'm actually liking all the teams and I want the moms to stay. So I was like, well, let's keep the moms in here because they're good TV. But I don't want necessarily Jordan and Violeta to go because they're on my team.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked was the moms, because they struggled as well on that wheel test, but it was nice in some ways to see the moms weren't in last for the whole leg. They had a chance. So that was good. So
yeah, especially when they finish the wheel task finally, and they get to pick and polish, and there were still people there. So Malaan and Tina was still there, they can see that they're not that far behind everybody, and so Malaan and Tina finally leave, and they go to the pit stop, and so it was the moms that end up being there kind of by themselves. And then Jordan and Violeta, they did the solar one, so they didn't know what was happening really, and it was suspenseful. I didn't know who was actually going to go home because we knew Malaan and Tina were going to have the penalty of some sort. We knew the moms had left last. We knew that Jordan and Violeta had to turn around, come back, and that the solar panel challenge was the longer of the two challenges. So I wasn't sure who was going to be eliminated this leg. So there was a little bit of suspense there. So the order after the girls come in was Skye-Blue and Jake came in fourth. We didn't see them very much this leg at all. Fifth was Holly and Dolor.
So they did okay with the salvage. It worked for them. I don't think that they should be thrilled. I mean, I think they had an okay leg, but it wasn't like a mistake-free leg. Yeah, it would have been better for them. I think them being proud of the salvage would have been if they won or got in the top 3 or something. So, yeah.
Yes. I mean, it just shows that they're not a great team.
Yeah.
They improved, though. They were much better this leg than they were the last leg. So hopefully they're going to start working even better together, and he's going to be kinder because he wasn't as mean this episode. And then 6, another surprise to me was Jobel and Ronnie.
Yeah. We didn't see much. We didn't see much of them. The first episode, we got to know them quite well. And I mean, I wish I kind of knew how they got up there, and see how they're getting along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of I didn't take that many notes, but it's also that I don't think that they focused on any of the other teams, but the main ones. And so I think we need to figure out how to edit a little bit differently so they're still telling other stories, even though they're focusing on the teams that finished first and last. I do still want to hear about the teams that are in the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
7th is Sefa and Jess. I like them still. I didn't really see very much of them. And then Malaan and Tina, they get to the mat 8th place, but they have a 10-minute penalty. And they're pretty worried here because
5?
Why did I write down
5 minutes?
It was 10.
5? No, it was 5.
Are you sure? I wrote
sure.
Right down 10. Ron!
Oh, wait, no. Wait, it was 10. It was 10.
I'm just saying.
10. Sorry. Even that to me, it was the world's shortest penalty that we've ever had.
Who cares? But they were worried because they knew that people were kind of around them and they didn't know where Chris and Aleisha were, and solar power people, they could have been hot on their tails for sure. So 10 minutes is a long time, an eternity when you're waiting to check in. And people did get there. So Chris and Aleisha, they weren't the ones that turned around. They're the same people, though, in my head still. They get their 8th now. Dway and Catherine are 9th place finishing. Jordan and Violeta, even though they had to do a U-turn unintentionally, they finished the solar panels before the moms, and they are able to check in before Malaan and Tina. And then it seems as though that the running from the car to the mat, the 10 minutes was up and Malaan and Tina could check in, because I feel like I saw them in the distance when they were checking in. I could be mistaken, but I think I did.
They were on the mat, and it was right after what they were told, and you could see the moms coming up. So it's like, that sucks.
Totally sucks.
10 minutes is a lot, but that is probably the shortest ever penalty on Amazing Race.
Usually like 6 hours, 4 hours.
I don't know. If I was building that dinosaur and I was like struggling and I was told, well, if you break it, it's only going to do 10 minutes. I might be like, okay, boom, now I don't have to worry about holding it up.
Right? But like, we don't know if it's going to be 10 minutes or an hour. If it was anything more than 10, if it was even 12 minutes, they would have been out. So yeah, but I definitely probably would have incurred the penalty there if it were me. And so, moms, was that your team? Yes. So you had the moms. So you have someone gone now. Do you want to take Joe Bell and Ronnie?
No.
Just so we can even it out?
Oh, all right. I'll take them. We'll take them.
Now we'll just have, it's even now then, right? Does that make sense?
No, it's even. Yeah, 2 teams are gone. Or 3 teams are gone. 2 teams are gone.
2 teams are gone.
Yeah.
The moms and Alex.
Right.
Like the twins. Yeah.
Right.
So that works out.
We'll make it work.
I got somebody new, you get somebody new, or I kept somebody. Did I keep somebody, or did you have them before?
No, the team that we did it after the leg one had happened. So
yes.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. This actually works out perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you don't want them.
No, well, you know what? I like if they can win, I will be happy about their story. So that will be good.
Okay.
Because they're running for her brother, right, and then his son. So that would be really nice.
So yeah, that was a pretty short episode for my experience. I didn't want the moms to leave, but I knew that it was going to be between Malaan and Tina and them because of that moment when they're having the catwalk and they're walking like models.
Yeah.
Sad. The moms did a really good job, I thought, without having one of them speak. I was happy for them. I didn't want to see them end this way, but
hopefully, right? That Malaan and Tina now can go, because I'd like to see them do well.
Please.
They need a good leg.
Please get them number 1 first. So you have your survey from a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, we did get some people.
Look at the results.
People filled it out today, so that was wonderful.
Yay!
I was panicking, and then we got some people. So
well, no matter what, I'm kind of behind on doing this, but I will put all the episodes also up on. I use Anchor, and so they will be in audio podcast form. It should be on Apple Podcasts, a Stitcher. All the typical podcast networks. And so if people want to still do it after and then compare it to the next episode in the future, it's still a possibility. Right. So that's why I was kind of like, well, I think that if people ever want to do it, it's still kind of fun.
Well, here are the results from last episode. Okay. So we asked if they were surprised with the elimination of Alex and Jack. Everybody said yes, which I agree with. That was a bit surprising. What was scarier? It ended up being the most got the Jordan's boat tipping into the water or into the ocean. Somebody did say the water slide. They were afraid of the water slide. Nobody really picked for what was the hard. Sorry, that was the scarier. What the hardest task. It was all over the place. Lifeguarding, the synchronized swimming, the dirt bike. So a little all over. Which team would they have given the sabotage pass to? Everybody said Holly and Dolor. The first class pass not getting a lot of love. That's about a 2 out of 5 on ratings. The salvage is a 3, and the sabotage pass people like the most, so that's a 4. And then of the remaining teams, the most improved, the Cowboys and the father-daughter and Shane and Deb got a lot of votes. So
like it. And what do we have got going on for this episode's survey?
Yeah, this survey. Opening it up. Preview. Let's do it. Here we go. We're almost there. Loading. Okay. 3 legs in. Do you like the host of Amazing Race Australia? 1 through 5.
I love him. I'll say 5. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying it. Were you surprised with the return of Dway and Catherine?
I was surprised only because I don't think I've ever seen them do this on The Amazing Race before. I wasn't surprised that just because it was unexpected probably that Alex and his brother left. And so I can see them wanting to keep the schedule the same. And so they probably still had them nearby, still quarantined. So it wouldn't have been that difficult. And also, in times of COVID, I think that they do hold people for longer. So for even in the challenge this season, somebody had to leave. Oh, Natalie from Survivor, she was on it and she had to leave for medical reasons. That was unexpected. And so they did bring somebody back from like a couple weeks before that was eliminated. So
oh wow,
I'm seeing that it feels as though they hold people for longer in times of COVID. It could be because in case somebody gets sick, they might be able to have a replacement or whatnot. And so I was surprised, yes, because it was the first time ever seeing that happen, but no, in times of COVID, I expect people to be ready in the wings to return.
Wow, okay. How much of an advantage was this leg salvage pass?
Huge.
I think so.
Like if any other team got it, they would have ended up in first place.
Yeah. How much of a disadvantage do you think was the sabotage pass? Was that a huge
I think it was an easy, it was an easy one to overcome. It didn't hinder too much. And so out of all these sabotages type things that they've ever done in these shows, I think that this one is the easiest to overcome. So if I was rating it on out of 2 out of 10?
Yeah, yeah, sure, out of 10.
It's out of 5. But for difficulty, I think it's maybe a 3. I don't think it was that hard.
Yeah. What's the longest you've ever gone without talking?
Well, I live at home alone. So if I didn't do podcasts, I could probably go for days.
Right.
But I tend to do a podcast or I stream something every day. So I do talk every day. So right now with my lifestyle, I would say not very long, an hour.
Yeah, I have some friends I know that go to retreats where there's no communication. And I mean, I'm interested in that. I don't know if I could do it, but
I've never been to a Vipassana. That's a 10-day silent retreat, I think is what you're speaking of. I've been interested in it. I know some people that have experienced it themselves, and they feel they learn it to be a very life-changing experience because you kind of become one. Your ego comes into play, and who are you? And if you're not able to communicate with people, anyways, it becomes quite spiritual and quite profound, I've heard. So it's something I would try doing, but I know a lot of people have had some breakdowns within it because it's like breaking down their identity.
Which leg 3 task was the hardest?
Solar power.
Solar power. Okay.
Wait,
I think so too.
Not hard. The wheel actually was kind of hard, but it didn't really have that many steps to do. It just had to lift on the heavy tire, put on the hub thing, lift the other heavy tire, and did the bolts. Is what it seemed like were the steps. So it didn't seem as challenging as 47 or 42. However many of those panels, that seemed terrible.
True. So this question I screwed up on, but was the time penalty of 10 minutes enough of a penalty? I put 5.
People understand that you made a mistake. It was inconsequential. I mean, it really actually was inconsequential. It was close to being terrible, but I think for most other teams, it wouldn't have affected their standing at all.
And finally, with 3 legs in, which of the remaining teams would be the biggest shock to see win the whole race at this point?
Shock?
Yes.
Dolor and Holly. There is no way that they could get it together for like 10 more episodes and 10 more legs to get to the top and win. Like,
yeah.
That's my shocker. Yeah. Who's your pick if it's not them?
I think for me, if it's not them, maybe Dway and Catherine because they had been eliminated. So that would be a bit of a shock if they won. Maybe Joe Bell and Ronnie because I think this is a little bit tougher this race. So for them, so yeah, but there's some strong teams.
Yes, I'm like very impressed by the Cowboys. Say what?
Yeah.
They're doing quite well. It could be because they're not fish out of water here at all. And I think that remember in the US version, they weren't Cowboys, but I can't remember where they're from, but from the South, they were fish out of water and they were eliminated first because they weren't able to adapt really quickly to a type of country. And so I think the fact that it's all staying within Australia, the Cowboys do have an upper hand here because they've experienced a lot of these different terrains and stuff like that their entire life. So I am very surprised by how well they're doing, considering how they did with that beer challenge.
For sure.
They're the most improved this episode. Or these last episodes.
So those are our questions. If people are listening, fill out the survey.
Do it. We're going to talk about it when we talk again next. When should we talk about episode 4?
Do you want to do Monday? Like do every other day? Monday, Wednesday, Fridays?
Sure. Yeah. Done.
That'd be good.
Sweet. So join us then again on Monday. We will talk about episode 4 and we'll listen. We'll take a look at your responses to our little survey here. And Phil, what do you have going on that you want the listeners to know or the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do my plug again just in case people.
You're getting this plug every single time, Phil.
This week is Good Time Games with Adam and Phil. So my new business that me and my friend Adam we've started. If you like playing games, but you hate hosting them and hate organizing them, you want to just play, let Adam and Phil be your hosts. We put together a whole bunch of games, all sorts of different ones, trivia, strategy, just for fun, all sorts of party games. Reach out to us on Facebook at Good Time Games with Adam and Phil. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that people will enjoy it. And we're very excited because we will be soon launching our first single player night for people who don't have a group of friends, but they do want to play some games. There'll be an admission fee and you'll just get to play games with strangers, hopefully from all around the world, which would be great. But we've got lots of ideas of things that are coming up. So.
You know what though, Phil? So because it's been quarantine and I've not been home, I've only been at home. I was going to do like an online escape room for my birthday, but then I never end up doing it. But I still have friends being like, "Hey, are we going to do something for your birthday?" So maybe I'll get them all together. What's the maximum amount of people that we can have in a group?
Well, so we have rates for 4 to 6. We have rate for 7 to 10, and we are open to doing whatever we can to accommodate the people. So feel free, if you have a little bit more and you want to ask, reach out to us and we'll make it work. Like we tend to just make rates based on the number of hours. We try to do a 2 to 2.5 hour game that people can play with an assortment of games in there, so it's not just one game. So
Cool. Okay. It's a thought. It's in there. It's in there. And I've already started talking about it, but I will be podcasting from a new channel called Reality Pop. And I have a question for you. You can maybe help me out because trying to figure out a name, because I'm going to be taking care of, for the most part, of the Big Brother part of this new station channel group. And so the names that I've considered right now is, I'm trying to remember them. So I have either On the Block or The Block, kind of, similar to The Talk. And it says Your Big Brother Show Mance.
Oh.
So those are two. And then I also have Block Talk with the same slogan.
All right.
Do you like any of these? So this would be all.
Yeah, I do like them. I don't know. I thought when I heard that it's on Reality Pop, the first word that came to my head when I heard Reality Pop that starts with B is blast. I was like, oh, so maybe you can do something with that word. They to go with the Reality Pop if they're theming their shows that way. But the Block is very good because obviously with the Big Brother, that's where they go. They go on the block, right? And that's what you'll be talking about when you're talking about these episodes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the first thing I thought it was Block Talk. And then I was like, well, like it's still kind of what I like because you know that we're going to be talking about things that have to do with the block. And then with having like, I do like the slogan because most people that I'll be talking to will be people that I've met through Big Brother type games and situations. Like Nick, I met playing a live reality version of Big Brother, and now we do games together. And then also Jojo I met playing Cheesecake, and Jonathan I met playing Big Brother Cheesecake. So the show Mance is, I thought it was like kind of cute in that way. Hold on, where did I write down my notes?
So excited.
The other one also I said Backdoor Scoop. I thought it was funny.
Maybe that should be RuPaul. I don't know. Backdoor Scoop.
I thought it was kind of funny, but I kind of like though, like a Big Brother show. ... Mance. Yeah. And how I was picturing is having like me and my counterpart sitting on the chairs with like holding hands kind of thing. Like, you know how they hold hands before the vote's revealed? And then depending on who is I'm talking to that day, it'll be interchanged and I'll get them to do like a cartoon of all the potential people that would be my block partner. So you didn't really help me out there.
No.
I said it out loud and like I'm thinking
I'll have a think.
It's not your responsibility. But anyways, guys, if you have any thoughts, I'm going to probably be deciding within the next day or so. So leave a little message at the bottom if you watch Big Brother and you like the sounds of either it's going to be The Block, On the Block, or Block Buddies. And all of them will have the tagline, A Big Brother Show, ... Mance.
Ooh.
Think about it. Let it sit. Let me know what you think. But anything else from you?
I love it.
Phil, from you, Ron? Anything? Any thoughts, Ron?
Ron. I don't know. I don't know where he is.
That's okay. That's okay.
Awesome.
Well, this is all we have for you guys today. If you haven't done so already, just to help us out here, please subscribe right down over there. On our way to 1,000 subscribers. Can't do it without you. Let us know that you subscribe in the comments, and then we'll have a little chit chat about the Amazing Race US. You'll also find us back here on Monday. We'll talk about episode 4, and then you'll find me on Tuesday talking about The Bachelorette. On Wednesday, we'll be doing the challenge right after the episode, and Thursday, Phil and I will be back doing UK's Drag Race. So we have a lot of shows coming up for you. So please subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we go live. Love you guys. Woohoo!
Bye.